Mountain News, first at 4, continues.
November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and the CDC reports more people die from lung cancer than any other type. A statistic healthcare providers here in Eastern Kentucky say is why they routinely stress the importance of lung health. WYMT's Vivica Grayson has more on what you can start doing today for the betterment and longevity of your life.
Our lungs are vital to our existence, working hard in the background to keep us going every day.
Often we take our lungs for granted because we're born with them, we start to breathe, they just work, and we don't really think about how they function or how to keep them healthy.
As we grow and develop, our lungs can be exposed to various damaging pathogens, like smoke and environmental stressors. Dr. Sam Bailey says while many will go through life with no major issues, in some cases these exposures, especially those that are repetitive or over a long time, can result in a lung cancer diagnosis.
Over time, with various factors, either radiation exposure from radon gas, smoking from chronic inflammation, you have turnover in the cells in your lungs. So sometimes when you replace cells or they're damaged, instead of a normal healthy cell coming back, it's a cancerous cell.
Now Dr. Bailey tells me some symptoms of lung cancer can include a chronic cough, coughing up blood, and weight loss. He also says while those who smoke or are exposed to pathogens have a greater risk of developing this type of cancer, it can happen to anyone. In Perry County, Vivica Grayson, WYMT Mountain News.
Dr. Bailey recommends people get routine lung cancer screenings, saying they are non-invasive and could save your life. For more information on the screenings, you can find a link on our website. Senator Rand Paul recognized a couple of Eastern Kentucky businesses today for the contributions to our communities. The senator recognized Reed Family Floral in Virgie and Kentucky Mist Distillery in Whitesburg as small businesses of the week. This distinction is delivered to businesses that have carved out a unique and successful position in towns and cities statewide. Kentucky Mist owner Colin Fultz was thrilled to host the senator at his Whitesburg distillery.
Oh, I think it's great. It's great for the distillery and it's great for the city of Whitesburg. So anytime a senator comes to Whitesburg, I think it's a big deal.
Senator Paul has several stops across the region today, and we'll have more from Harlan County tonight at 6 and 11. Colder weather is here, especially in the morning when many of us are heading out the door for work or school. Part of that morning routine may be running outside to let your car warm up before you leave. WYMT's Dakota Makris has more on ways to keep your car maintained during the months ahead.
If you were like me, that 3 o'clock alarm comes early, then you are rushing out the door to start your day. But we could not do that if it were not for 4 Wheels. Lori Weaver Hawkins, a public affairs manager with AAA, tells me there are a few things we should consider during the winter months when it comes to car care. She says you should have all your fluid levels checked, like antifreeze and oil. She also suggests packing an emergency kit with things like a shovel, a blanket, and bottles of water, all things that could come in handy if you do have a breakdown. Most want to avoid needing to use this kit, and Hawkins says basic maintenance now can go a long way towards avoiding breakdowns and crashes. One major part of the maintenance, tires.
I really want to emphasize is tires. They say that about 800,000 crashes every year are due to wet roads. And so your tires will go a long way to avoiding those kinds of incidents.
Now another part she says to have checked is your windshield wipers. In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Officials say you should also keep reflective triangles in your car if you happen to break down.
The break in the winter weather continues today. However, it's not too far off, or at least the fall-like weather, because we've got more cloud cover moving in right now. Outside from our time-lapse camera at the University of Virginia, Ed Wise, we started out with beautiful blue skies today, but we're watching a few of those clouds beginning to move in. Not a bad look there as the sun begins to set on this Tuesday afternoon out at Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County. Despite the sun now behind those clouds, we are still very much above average. It's 70 degrees right now. That's where a lot of us are. Upper 60s, low 70s all across the mountains on this Tuesday, and we continue to see those clouds moving in. Satellite and radar showing we started off the day with a nice blue sky out there, but we're starting to get even some thicker cloud cover beginning to work in towards the I-75 corridor. We'll continue to see that during the overnight hours, and that will keep us from getting too chilly overnight. Keep that WYMT weather app handy because the partly cloudy skies turning to the mostly cloudy side, I think, as we head into the evening hours, down into those 50s and only mid-40s for many as we finish out the overnight hours. That cloud cover acting as a blanket, keeping us on the milder side. We've got much cooler weather, though, on the way. I'll have all the details on that coming up in just a few short minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Governor Andy Beshear is calling public safety one of his top priorities in his upcoming budget proposal. The governor's plan includes investing millions of dollars in Kentucky State Police. The starting pay for troopers would go up from $40,000 to $55,000 and from $24,000 to $32,000 for dispatchers. It would also call for $12.2 million to be spent on an integrated video recording system and the purchase of body cameras. The governor also proposed $400 million be set aside for hero pay bonuses for officers.
Essential worker bonuses is a way that we can thank the people who showed up, who put their health and possibly even the health of their family on the line in the toughest parts of the pandemic. It's also a good attaboy or attagirl to keep it up, stay in these positions even though you feel burnout, even though it's difficult.
The governor also recommended a $600 yearly stipend increase for all law enforcement officers who complete their state-mandated 40 hours of training. He said he is confident the request can pass, but that is up to the General Assembly to do so when they convene in January. The U.S. is open to international travelers after a 20-month shutdown. Lines of people were waiting to get into the country when the border in El Paso, Texas opened Monday morning. The average wait time for cars to cross was about 20 minutes. It was about 15 minutes for pedestrians. Many students going to high school on the U.S. side anticipated long lines. They've been able to cross between countries throughout the pandemic. For non-essential travelers, they must show Border Patrol they are fully vaccinated to enter the United States. Today marks the 32nd anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. After dividing Germany's capital city for 28 years, it was a major moment signaling change as the decades-long Cold War was reaching its end. However, the now iconic moment in 20th century history was actually the result of a mistake in a speech from an East German official announcing travel restrictions were lifted immediately when they were meant to be lifted as part of a longer process. Both East and West Berliners flocked to the wall. 2 million people joined in the celebration, many using hammers and various picks to chip away chunks of the wall. For the first time in nearly 100 years, people are laying flowers in front of the unknown soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. The tomb has been the final resting place for one of America's unidentified service members from World War I since November 11, 1921. The remains of 2 other unknowns were added in later years. For 2 days, as part of a centennial commemoration, the public can walk on the tomb and lay flowers. Since 1948, that access was reserved for sentinels of the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, known as the Old Guard. Florida authorities are investigating a fire that was set at a site honoring the victims of one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history. The One Pulse Foundation posted this video on social media Saturday. The video appears to show someone setting fire to a wall at the Pulse Interim Memorial in Orlando. The nonprofit says 3 angel banners were burned along with other items. The memorial remembers the 49 people killed in the mass shooting at Pulse nightclub on June 12, 2016. Investigators are sifting through the site of a deadly concert crush at the Astro World Music Festival. Rapper Travis Scott was performing Friday night when chaos erupted, killing 8 people and wounding many more, with many alleging in lawsuits that ground staff did not do enough to prevent or stop the mayhem. Houston's mayor says the families are entitled to answers, and he's vowing a top-to-bottom investigation into the promoter, the park, and whether safety measures were followed.
It is about providing accountability from the beginning to the end.
Scott says he's cooperating with authorities and has offered to pay for the victims' funerals. Scott adds he's also partnering with a company to provide free therapy for those concert goers in need. Coming up on First at 4, AAA is predicting a sharp rebound in Thanksgiving travel this year. What you need to know before you hit the road or take to the skies.
And keep those warm clothes on standby because we've got some much cooler temperatures on the way. I'll have the full breakdown on the way.